So I'm going to use my meringue recipe to teach you how to trust your baking instincts. A lot of new bakers get really bogged down with the measurements and trying to be precise. Every recipe is slightly different. Your kitchen's going to be different. It's really important to just trust your baking instincts and just realize whether it looks right and figure it's going to taste right. So for this, I'm going to use my meringue recipe and I'm going to need a cake mixer. Awesome, thank you. Bags. I prefer the disposable ones because they're easy to just trash when you're done. This is what it looks like. You just snip a hole in the end. And then I have my piping nozzle, as large as you can find. Well, it depends on how big you want your meringues, but this is the size that I use. You just pop them in the end, take it all the way down, and then you just get a pair of scissors and snip the end off so that your meringues actually come out the bag. So there we go. I've got a bowl of sugar, didn't measure it. We're gonna eyeball it. I have my egg whites. There are 5 egg whites in here. And then I use cream of tartar, just a splash, because it just gives the meringue like that crispy texture you're looking for. And then last but not least, I also use my balloon whisk to really just get the volume in the cake mixer. So let's throw it all in, see what happens. As you can see, the volume has really quadrupled in here, but what I really want you to see is the texture. You want to give it a couple of seconds, maybe like 30 seconds, let that sugar mix in and then throw in a couple more tablespoons. Just a sprinkle of my cream of tartar, and that is just going to give the meringue that crisp texture. Eyeball it. Let's pause it and take a look. Pulling it up, as you can see, we've got peaks, but they're not stiff yet, so that tells us more sugar, keep mixing. See where it's going. We've still got peaks, but can you see the peaks are so much stiffer than they were? I feel like we can do this a little bit longer, so I'm going to keep mixing and throw a little bit more sugar in. pause and check how it's doing. Okay, it looks silky, it looks beautiful. It just has that creamy, silky texture that tells me that it's done. See, let me see if I can angle the camera so you guys can see it better. Hopefully you're seeing that. It just looks so delicate and delicious. Let's pipe these in the bag and then throw them in the oven. I've got my piping bag set up in my cup. I'm just gonna spoon the mixture in and then we're gonna pipe it on the tray, ready to go in the oven. Now it's a lot of volume. You're gonna be tempted to overfill the bag. Don't do it. It will just come flooding out the top. I can tell you that from personal experience. Here we go. There we go. And then squeeze down. There's your nozzle. And now we're gonna pipe these onto the baking tray. So I'm just gonna pipe like so. These are what I call Meringue Kisses. I prefer the Meringue Kisses because they bake so much quicker. You wanna put your oven at around 150 degrees, which is really low, but that's what it needs so it doesn't brown. 150 degrees for an hour. Turn the oven off. Leave them in there to dry out for another hour. And then they should hopefully come out nice and crisp, not overbake, and still retain its white color. So if you like this video, put a comment in the comment section and we can do another version where I add different colors to give you the rainbow stripy effect, which is also really cute. And finally, we have our Meringue Kisses